like, comment, subscribe. We haven't been too active on the channel, but we're gonna ramp back up in a little while. I got some very special guests. I was saying, want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, so my name is Joshua. Uh, I'm a lay deacon in the Lutheran Church of Missouri Synod.
Okay, a lot of people might follow him on Twitter, something like that.
No, it's a Man of Steel
Man
with
of
a
Steel. Sorry,
yeah.
yeah. I'll bump that, beat that part out. You know what I'm saying? But but no, he has very profound perspectives. You know that if you follow him, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you should follow him. Today, first off, a lot of people, as I'm sure he'll co-sign, when they think about Lutherans, they pretty much don't think that us people of pigment actually exist. So I'm thrilled to have someone on that is just as enthusiastic about theology and things of that nature as I am. And I can tell that just because our first time talking,
Right.
Face to face or voice to voice, however you want to look at it. He did a tweet that really inspired me. I wanted to reach out to him, and I'll put a picture of the tweet up. Can't read it right now because I'm recording from my phone. We had a little technical difficulties. Do you remember the tweet I'm referring to? I think I sent it to you.
Yeah. Let me read from it, I guess. Where is it? I have it on my Twitter, in our Twitter messages. Yeah, I see it. So what I tweeted a few days ago was that Lutheranism holds the same faith as the Church of Rome and the East, just clarified, but the same can't be said for anything stemming from the Reformed or Anabaptist traditions.
Right, and from people that follow me or know me, that's like right in my wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the part that I want to focus on in regards to that really caught my attention is the first part about us holding the same faith. And the reason why is because also by the time I released this, I think one of my friends, Flame, his album's coming out, and he touched on something that he said in one of his videos where he said that we hold the historic faith. Like we're part of that mold. And this tweet really resonated with me. That's why I wanted to bring you on.
Yeah.
So when you say that, can you go in a little deeper about why do you feel that way, or not even why you feel that way? Before we get there, is why do you think it's important that a tradition ties itself to the historic, once for all given faith and the viewpoints like that?
Yeah. So there's so many ways you could come at this, right?
Yeah.
I hold this because I think that even towards the end, the later documents in the Book of Concord,
right,
they always hold that they hold the same, they preach the same religion as Rome or the universal church. But there's the consistent clarification that Lutherans understand it better, basically.
Right.
Right.
I love it because you're like, you talk like you say the same thing I say, but probably very nicer. But it's the exact same message. Like, and I think that that's very true in regards to our confession, especially because reading through the confessions, one thing people will notice is they always point backwards. Like they'll be like, "Oh, Saint Chrysostom held this, or this person, or this person." Like they'll reference somebody in the historic lineages of the church,
right?
For the sole purpose of stating and showing we are not creating nothing new.
Yeah,
like,
there is
the historic church, the historic viewpoint. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say even towards the end, because I would say there is some development, I think, in the attitudes of the reformers, especially from the first generation reformers to the second generation reformers. When the Augsburg Confession is written, Melanchthon seems to think that there is still the possibility that they could be in under the Pope, but
Right.
with the church reformed. So they're still believing that the church would reform itself or could reform itself. And the Augsburg Confession is chiefly written to show how much we agree with everyone else.
No,
And
you're 100% right, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Augsburg Confession. Like that's like my favorite piece, you know. And like I think something you touched on right then, kind of something we don't talk about much, that the goal never was to break off and start our own tradition. So as you said, like the possibility of reform. I hate using that word because people always assume the reform tradition. We're not talking about that, you know. But the goal was not us as a separate unit. It was, no, we just need to clarify a couple of things that's going on within the church right now.
right,
Not you guys get out. It's us now.
right,
We're this. We're that.
right.
So you get that perspective on Augsburg.
Yeah, especially it's funny when you're looking at reasons why the church split in the Eastern Orthodox churches and in Lutheranism are actually very similar because they both have to deal with abuses, chiefly coming from the Pope or the Bishop of Rome. It got worse in the West by the time the Lutheran reformers were there. But in both situations, the issues were very similar. But the consistent claim of the reformers is that it was Rome that had brought in these errors that needed to be fixed. But the only reason we became a separate ecclesiastical community was because Rome kicked us out. Right? We did not want to. We did not want to leave, but they forced us out. But we have to be bound to the scriptures. We can't just capitulate.
Right. No, 100%. And that's a key point that I think always gets overlooked in these things. Is it's like you guys started the new this. And it's like, no, like literally we were pushed out and the locks were changed on the door. Like it's not like we wanted to leave.
Right.
Like and as you know, even the first name they wanted to be called was Evangelical Catholic. Like they still saw themselves tied to it.
Right.
You know, the name Lutheranism, for people who aren't familiar, was originally a slur. It really was, you know, not really a good thing.
Yeah.
No one liked it. Like Luther didn't like it, but it stuck. It's kind of like a childhood nickname.
Yeah. Well, I think eventually even Luther, he would agree to the Lutheran tradition being called Lutheran, with the caveat that they're not saying that Luther created it, but that they follow, that they in some level are recognizing that Luther is an important figure for that tradition. But it's originally a slur because, right, why do we call Arianism Arianism? Because it's a heresy started by Arius. So that's why we got called Lutheran. But that's not a name that we would have called ourselves because we didn't want to be, nor are we, schismatic. We've never wanted to be.
And I almost, this is my perspective though, I almost think that it's to the point where he didn't have a choice. It's like Rome, even today, we were talking about before, the Roman church is so big, especially at that time, compared to a new kicked out group of people. If they're all calling you this, it's almost like, man, look, all right, call me Junebug. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's not going to change my stance. I'm still here. But, okay, whatever. Let's go forward.
Yeah,
we have other things to talk about.
Yeah, because essentially it wasn't going to mean much, right?
Right.
It was kind of annoying to pick it up, but, fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, one of the main reasons why I think your point about we are part of the historic church in a sense, like, is such a key topic for me is I see so much creating going on in the church, meaning that people, instead of looking at how Christianity from the 2nd century forward has viewed things or looked at things, and not saying they're always right, but at least taking it into account.
Yeah.
It's so much disregarded, and they'll just go with whatever they come up with, and it's like, we have to value the viewpoint of prior saints. Like we have to take it into consideration that this guy knew the Apostle John. we're just going to disregard something he might have learned directly from him, or this guy sat under someone who knew the Apostle John, and you know he
Yeah.
keeps going forward.
Yeah, I think it comes out of a weird view of the scriptures. I think the Lutherans were very aware, right, of the idea that the scriptures differed across time and across region, right? They knew of different canons. They knew that Jerome, I guess, kind of infamously, was arguing over the canon,
Right.
and the attitude that a lot of modern, you could almost say post Protestants, because they don't really